Hi, this is Mary Wood. Today we're going to be talking about linear functions and the y-intercept and slope. A linear function f is any function that can be described as f of x equals mx plus b. It may also be designated as y equals mx plus b. And that is because when we learned about functions, remember f of x means the same thing as the variable y. An example of a linear function might be f of x equals 4x minus 5, or written as an equation, y equals 4x minus 5. Definition of the y-intercept of a graph of a linear function is the point 0b, or simply the b. The b is the number hanging out on the end. Let's look at this example. Find the y-intercept. Since this is already solved for y, in other words, it looks like y equals mx plus b, the coefficient in front of the x, we're doing the y-intercept. The number hanging out on the end is the b. In other words, b is 12 here, and as an ordered pair, the y-intercept, x is 0, y is 12. Let's find the other y-intercept of this equation. Notice this one is not solved for y, so we need to do that. To solve for y, I'm going to subtract 3x from each side first. So I have 2y equals negative 7 minus 3x. Now what I'm going to do is swap the order of these two. Okay, so I have negative 3x minus 7. I still need to solve for y, so I'm going to divide each term by 2. So y equals negative 3x over 2 minus 7 halves. The number hanging out on the end is the b, so b is negative 7 halves, and the y-intercept, written as an ordered pair, is 0, negative 7 halves. Now let's talk about the definition of the letter m in the equation is the slope of the line. Okay, the coefficient in front of the x is always going to be the slope of the line of a linear equation. Find the slope of this line. The coefficient in front of the x is always going to be the slope. Notice this one was already solved for y. So the slope of the line is 2/7. Sorry, my pen is not cooperating. Okay? Remember, slope of a line, let's recall, is the rise over the run. Okay? Here's another example. Find the slope of the line. I need to solve for y this time. Now, I'm going to just move, I'm going to move it right there. I'm going to just move that 3x over to the other side by changing its sign. So I have 2y equals negative 3x minus 7. Divide everything by 2. Okay? So y equals negative 3 halves x minus 7 halves. The slope of the line is the coefficient in front of the x. So the slope is negative 3 halves. Okay? Now let's go to the next page. Another definition is a slope-intercept equation of a line. Now this looks familiar. It's y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope, and the b, an ordered pair, is the y-intercept. Example 1, find the slope and the y-intercept for these equations. it's already solved for y. So my slope is 9. It's the coefficient in front of the x. And my y-intercept is going to be 0, -7, or the b is -7. Again, we want to find the slope and the b and the y-intercept. Okay. The slope, it's already solved for y, is 3/2. The b is the 5. And in ordered pair form, x is 0, y is 5. Okay, example 3. Now this time I have to solve for y. So I'm going to move my -5x over here. So I have -4y equals -5x plus 10. This time I need to divide everything by a -4 to solve for y. So y equals a negative over negative gives me a positive 5/4 x. A positive over a negative makes a negative 10/4. But we always need to reduce fractions to lowest terms. So y equals 5/4 x minus 5/2. If you need to use your calculator to reduce 10/4 to lowest terms, just type in 10 divided by 4 and press Math, Enter, Enter. Okay, here's our last example. Notice I need to solve for y again. So I'm going to subtract the 5x. I have 1/2 y equals -5/2 plus 6. Now to solve for y this time, I have this 1/2 in front. It's a fraction. I'm going to clear that fraction by multiplying every term by 2. Let me make that red. 2. Multiply that term by 2, that by 2, and that by 2. Now the 2 times the 1/2 is 1y. The 2 times the -5 is -10x plus 12. My slope is -10. My b is 12. And the y-intercept as an ordered pair is 0, 12. Okay, this is the conclusion of this video. Have a good day.